at a close NFC playoff picture. Schrags, what sticks out to you now?
Seahawks are right back on the top. They're in the hunt. They might not beat the Rams in the division with 2 losses to them, but they are lingering, and the Vikings have some very tough games coming up. Seahawks, new life. Packers, it gets a lot more difficult from here on out.
And Good Morning Football's here for the next 3 hours to preview all of those matchups, NFC, AFC, as we kick off Week 11. We did that just last night. And the Seahawks, they came back. They were down 14-3, you guys. In the first quarter, they trailed, even in the fourth, and somehow they made it happen. Russell Wilson leading his team on his 21st game-winning drive. What stood out to us? Before I know we're going to talk Packers here.
Yeah.
I mean, what a job by the Seahawks at home.
No question. Russell Wilson came to play, and that defense made plays at the right time. And just being at home and being down, like you said, that says a lot about this team. Everybody was ready to close the closet door on these guys. They said, wait a minute. We're not done. We're still here at the party.
We'll be talking Seahawks all show long, giving them their credit, what it means for them down the stretch, especially in that division with the Rams. What stood out to you after last night, Schrags?
It's one of those games, Kay, where on paper you say Rodgers did everything he possibly could, and the Packers had guys that stepped up, and yet for the 5th time this season they couldn't win on the road, and for the 5th time this season it feels like the game should have been theirs. And what stands out to me, late game decision making. Let's go to 3rd and 2. Aaron Rodgers. Now look, the time in this one, there's still about 4 or 5 minutes left in the game, okay? But that's an incomplete. 3rd and 2, that should have been a complete. And Rodgers, after the game, to Kyle's point, said 100 out of 100 times I hit Valdez-Scantling on that one. So that one's on Rodgers. And you have to wonder, what do you do here? Because it's not a slam dunk. It's not a slam dunk when you're trailing by 3 points in the 4th quarter on the road to say, oh, we got to go for it. But when you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback and you are converting, and you're Mike McCarthy, whose seat might be getting a little hotter and hotter, what would you do? Would you go for it with Aaron Rodgers 4th and 2? Let's see what McCarthy did on 4th and 2, the very next play. Punt the ball away.
Play it safe.
Played it safe. And if you guys didn't see the end of the game, the Packers would never see the ball again. Seahawks would convert on 3 different conversions, a 2nd and 6, a 2nd and 6, and they put the game away on a 3rd and 12 with a knee from Russell Wilson. And I'm left thinking, what could have been? What is one thing if Ty Montgomery stays in the end zone and they don't get a shot. It's another thing if Aaron Jones fumbles the ball in New England, you say, what could have been? I almost wish they just rolled the dice and said, season on the line. Let's throw away the binder. In New York, they say Joe Girardi used to always consult a binder, and it got annoying. Get away with the play chart and what you're supposed to do. Let Aaron Rodgers win you the game. They didn't, and now they're 4-5. And honestly, Mike McCarthy's seat was hot coming in. Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback in the prime of his career, playing amazing. Got to get some of these wins.
Is it hot this morning? No?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Not for right now.
Not
but
right
at the end
now.
of the season,
No, it's scorching. And, this was incredible how this played out, given the context of our show this week. And we've been talking about, do we make excuses for Rodgers? We say he's so great, but he doesn't win. I said yesterday, show me the huge mistake that he makes to lose the game. He wasn't perfect last night. He should have hit that throw. He took some sacks. But he was fantastic, fantastic. And, Peter, it's enough for you or me to say you got to go for it. Sherman Williams on the Packers after the game is sitting there hitting the table saying, I want to go for it. We've got Aaron Rodgers. Those are the defensive guys who are always like, put it in our hands. Mike McCarthy is saying, well, we got to play the numbers. Play number 12. It's 2 yards. Do boldly what you do at all here. I'm so frustrated because, Kate, we had another Rembrandt from Rodgers and another loss.
Yeah.
Story of his career is going to be in Canton, Ohio. We're going to show some great highlights and terrible losses.
Let's take a look at this Rembrandt, right? You're talking about late decision-making. I feel like we are wasting the prime that is Aaron Rodgers, because he can still do it. That play was brilliant. Let's take a look at the first career catch by Tanyan out there, right? 54-yard reception. Can we take a look at it, please?
Let's see.
Let's do it. It was last night. You saw it in the highlight, but it was awesome. So let's see here. No, I guess we don't have it? Oh.
I love the play.
You don't have it, but it was amazing.
Yeah.
So you see something like that, and you see us in the prime. Where are the trick plays? Where are the creativity? The Green Bay Packers have just refused to evolve with the rest of the league. Like, the league has changed. I'd like to see them do that. Then again, I don't want to place all the blame on the coaching, because on 3rd and 2, you wouldn't have to punt or be faced with that decision if he makes that gimme.
You know, for me, last night was a reminder that Aaron Rodgers is the best passer I've ever seen. Yesterday on the show, I said nobody places balls on receivers' bodies like Aaron Rodgers. Pinpoint accuracy, whether he's sitting in the pocket or he's outside the pocket like we saw on that play to Tanyan. But sitting here today, looking at my Twitter last night, looking at my Twitter this morning, there's also a reminder that we have too many Aaron Rodgers apologists, too many excuses for this man. He's making a ton of money. He has never went to the squad and say, I need you to give me short change because I want the team around me to be so much better. So my question is, why are we shortchanging the coaching staff? Why are we shortchanging the players? Why are we shortchanging the defense? And why are we shortchanging his mistakes? This isn't a shot to the Packers fans. This isn't a shot to Aaron Rodgers. Everybody was hitting me up on Twitter saying, Nate, how do you feel now? How do you feel now? Aaron Rodgers is lighting up your quarterback. First of all, Russell Wilson is not my quarterback. I never played with Russell Wilson. I was just plainly saying that these guys are great. And if you look at the second half, I didn't hop back on Twitter and say, how do you like me now? No. Russell Wilson just proved to be what I said he was.
So
are
we here the day after, the three of us making excuses for Rodgers again?
You guys are, and I feel like fans are. And we're sitting there saying,
Go win that game. If you're so good, Aaron Rodgers,
we need more creativity.
He gets paid to do it.
We need more creativity. We need his coach to step up. Or we just need Aaron Rodgers to make one more play than Russell Wilson.
You know what I have a problem with, Nate? Russell Wilson was not good in the first half. He was terrible, actually, sloppy. And yet they still win.
He was phenomenal in the second half, though.
But Rodgers was phenomenal for the whole game. I look at that throw to Valdez-Scantling. It's like a guy who has 48 points and misses a big free throw at the end. If he doesn't have the 48, they lose by 20. Like, he will. If he had Wilson's first half, they would have lost by 3 touchdowns. That's the burden of Rodgers. He's spectacular, makes one bad play, and they lose.
He also has held this organization by their throat and said, pay me as much money as I want.
How much money does Russ
Which
make?
sometimes that puts your team in a position.
What do you want him to do? He's the best player in the universe. He should take some pay cut.
Did I say he was wrong for that?
No, you're saying that hurts the team.
But
that hurts the team sometimes.
Devontae Adams.
We talk about this all the time.
Or the defense.
Russell Wilson is dealing with that at this time because he's asked for so much money that the people around him might not be the best players for winning big games. I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers isn't good. He is phenomenal. I just say he's the best passer I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. I'm just saying stop making excuses. He took the L, let him hold the L. Russell Wilson and the Seahawks played a better game in the second half than the Packers.
And they got the win. We'll be breaking it down all show long. Heated.
I like heated Burleson. We only get it like once a month.
It's true.
He's not wrong.
I mean, I'd
say
probably
he
contend
is,
that.
but
We can talk about this all day long.
Let's talk about it for 3 hours.
We will.
Okay.
Coming up next, the Eagles.